Hi guys, I'm just gonna be giving you a run through for the things that we need to work with in our diploma. The first thing that we've already seen how we work with is code blocks, and code blocks is where we'll be working with our C programming. I've actually just realized with my videos they just started from just doing work in code blocks, but we also need to just understand what code blocks is and how we'll be able to use it. So in general, code blocks is a development environment that we work with to create our projects. And to start off, we just go File, New, we select Project, we select Console Application, we select C++ this time, we click on Next, we put Demo as the name of the project, we click on Next, and then we finish. So that is our code blocks, and this is what we'll be working with. So for those who've actually gone through the lessons, this is what we have been doing from the onset. So we'll be able to add code and work with our code until we're done. So this is one of the languages that we'll be working with, and this is C++. Okay. The next one would be our web design. We'll be needing to create a control panel for XAMPP, which is our web hosting. And our web hosting pretty much gives us the following. So if we run on our browser and the web hosting service is actually running, like what we've got there, we've got Apache and MySQL. This is what we'll be working with. At the same time, now we can actually now be able to create applications that we'll be able to work with. So for example, under applications, there's no application so far. There is also PHP info, which gives a list of things that are available in our PHP. We've also got phpMyAdmin, which is where we can actually create our databases and work with our databases to do certain things. So just a run through about how we create our database. We just simply go on New. Under New, we then put a database name. Let's say we want the DAIT 24 as our database. We can then create that database and we'll be able to see content within the database. At the same time, we'll learn how we can work with our databases and how we can do certain things in our databases. So I'll just leave this database as DAIT24 so that when we're actually working with our PHP, we'll be able to see how this works. So to know how PHP works, if you notice in the list that I put on Canvas, where I was saying the requirements, I said we need XAMPP, which is this one. This is what XAMPP looks like. And for us to actually be able to work with it, we need to be having our server running. So this is our Apache and MySQL. But when we're actually working with it, I'll run you through how we do this. The next thing that I've actually said is we need a software called Brackets. So I've already got Brackets installed on my computer. I'll just open it so that you see how it works. Brackets is an open source software where you can actually be able to create different elements or aspects about your coding, whichever type of coding you've got. But we'll be using it for our PHP, and as you can see on first run, it actually tells you that you can have it run as a server. So Node.js is like a server platform that you can work with, and if you are skilled enough, you can actually not use XAMPP and work with your Node, with your Brackets all the way. So let's just see how this works. This is our Brackets. So to be able to use our websites, here's how we would need to do it. We would need to go to our C, our XAMPP, and XAMPP would be a folder that would have been created on our C. We need to get into htdocs, and we need to create a folder that would then be our website. So for example, our website can be tutorials, okay, whereby we actually want to be able to put all our tutorials and how certain things will be done. So this then becomes our folder for our website. If we come back to our localhost, we'll actually notice that each time we're making a value, we could be able to reference whatever that value is. So let's say we want to see our tutorial. We need to go to localhost, and then under localhost we need to put tutorial, which is, okay, I think we had put an S, okay, that's how we got an error, tutorials, like that. Okay, so if we are seeing this, we are on the same page. It then means that with our tutorials, we've got a folder that exists. But in this folder, there is nothing that is there, which is why it says index of tutorials, and then Apache, the version type, OpenSSL, PHP version, and the port that we're actually working with. So to be able to see how this works now, we need to then go back to brackets, or we can come to where we've got tutorials there. We right click on tutorials, and then we say open as a brackets project. So this is what we'll be working with as we proceed. So to be able to do this, we need a new file, and this file we need to save it as index.php, and this is where we'll be doing all our content. So our PHP pretty much consists of tags. So the first tags that we've got is HTML, we've got a body tag, then we need also a set of header tags, which we simply call head. Then we need a title for the page. So we then call this tutorial, like that. At the same time, let's just put some text and say welcome to PHP, like that. Click on save. Now we saved this as an index.php, so that instead of having index of tutorials, if you refresh this, now it's supposed to get that particular text. So if I refresh, we then get welcome to PHP, and we'll learn how to actually work with our PHP as follows. So the next language we'll be working with is Visual Studio. So this is Visual Studio .NET, and I already have an application that's running. Let's actually just close it first. We close the solution so that we see how it starts, or we see what we are expected to get as we open it. Or rather, let's actually close it and start it from scratch. So I go to I don't know if I selected, no, I selected Visual Studio Blend. Should give us Visual Studio, but we actually wanted the normal Visual Studio. So let's wait for it to finish, and we'll see the difference between Blend and the normal Visual Studio. But this is what we'll actually be working with through our learning. So let me close that. Let me just try and open the one we are supposed to use, and I'll explain that one when it's done. Okay, so that's our Visual Studio. Our Visual Studio gives us the following. We'll be able to create applications, and as you can see, there's also interconnectivity with the internet, so you can be able to download sources, etc. Let's just see how we can create a project here. Simply go on New, and then what we actually want to work with is Visual Basic. So you'd actually then find it's got all these projects that we can actually work with, but what we want is under Visual Basic and we want Windows, and we select Windows Forms application. So we can create a project that we'll call create, or rather crude functions, like that. I think we'll continue with this when we're doing Visual Basic, where we can create that project. And what crude functions simply means, we want to be able to work with create, read, update, and delete functions. So this is what we'll then have with our learning, or with our project. So this is what our platform would look like, and the user side would be the form, the code side would be what we've got there. So we'll be able to actually design whatever we want to design there, and also work with our code from that aspect. So with our code, we'll also be able to add certain objects, so it becomes graphic, but we can be able to add objects to our form. So let's say, for example, to begin with, we want to add a button. This button becomes something that we can work with on our form. So we can change the button text to create, and after that we can also run our project the same way we do with our C++. We can run it, and then we'll be able to see what our code looks like, or what our code is about. So this is our form, and this is our create button that we have created. We can also close the form, and then the application stops running. And this is how we work with our Visual Basic. So we would need a Visual Basic, we would need brackets, we would need XAMPP, we would also need our code blocks for our learning. And then at the same time, nothing changes. We still need to get a project for the final output. Although with this project, we hope that after learning the 3 languages, you'll be able to be comfortable with a language that you think you can be able to create a project. And as we did it in the previous class, which was DAIT, we'll also be able to do the same with our DAIT. So thank you very much. Any questions, feel free to ask me through our various platforms.